Hey everyone, today we are going in a little bit of a different direction, both literally and figuratively. We are going to be talking about some adjustments coming to the podcast as Angela and I grow and hone in on our messaging.
Balancing building a successful business and being a superstar mom is hard, and yet, in today's digital world, it's more common than ever.
The question becomes, how do we successfully grow a business and children at the same time?
Join us for a candid conversation as we share our insights into marketing and motherhood. I'm Angela Reeder.
And I'm Jessie Valle. Welcome to the Marketing Moms Podcast.
Hey, so I feel like this episode has been a long time coming. Angela and I had to sit down recently and think about, separately actually, what we really felt like our calling was to help other moms with businesses out there. And we realized that we've been chatting about things that range so many things.
Yes.
And do
Wide
not
variety of
fear,
things.
this podcast is not going anywhere. However, we are wanting to just have a chat about kind of the direction of our episodes. And while it's still going to be about motherhood and marketing, why we felt we needed to truly define where we were headed, I guess.
Yeah. It's weird. You and I have both had businesses for a long time. We're far beyond the initial get started, grow your business, do the thing in our personal businesses. But
Mm-hmm.
this is new for us, the podcast, basing a business or basing any kind of monetization around a podcast, and all of that. It's new for us, and we've, over the last few weeks, found ourselves giving ourselves the advice that we would give our clients
Mm-hmm.
if we were from the outside looking in. And a lot of that kind of revolves around really dialing down on who we want to talk to. I mean, we want to talk to everybody, but who we're really focused on helping and what we want to talk about and what we want to focus on. And as Jessie said, we sat down separately to kind of talk about or think about it, and then came together to talk about it. And miracle of miracles, we were on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. And the crazy thing is you kept saying the word new, but I mean, we've been at this for 2.5 years.
yeah, it's not really new.
It's not really new, but I will say that I feel like Angela and I have just kind of used this podcast kind of as a verbal diary, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we just kind of share our thoughts and hoping someone out there in the universe might find use in it. But we decided that maybe now is the time, especially as we turn here into the new year, to truly hone in on what, just be more intentional about what we're talking about.
Yes.
And again, we are not changing much. We're still going to be talking to moms with businesses, and
yes,
we're still marketing moms. That is not changing. However, I think a lot of our content is going to be geared more towards someone like us who's been in business a while, who isn't necessarily in that initial grow stage, but is kind of in maintenance mode.
Yeah.
Maybe slow growth, just maintaining their business, because now they've built it up enough to where they can truly finally start to enjoy their family. And I think that's one of the big issues I have with other influencers online is they talk about where they're at in their business into it, not at the very beginning. the work a few hours a week and enjoy your kids comes later. It's not the initial
Yes.
part.
Right. And we definitely wanted to make a point to say that a lot. Like we say that a lot, and probably
Mhm.
will continue to say that a lot.
Mhm.
um so we love all of you. We love our listeners. And if you are new to business, please feel free to keep listening. Hopefully we will have some good insights for you and some help for you. Um, but moving forward, we really want to focus more on, you've done all the work, you've built your business. For a lot of moms, if you talk to them and you ask them, why did you start your business? The answer is usually something to do with kids. I wanted to be able to pay for my kids' soccer lesson. I
Mhm.
wanted to be home for my kids. That was one of the reasons I started my business, so that I could be home for my kids. I could, 2 hour delays, sick kid, whatever, wasn't going to be a big deal. I was relatively free. And you spend the first few years really, really building that up. But then what happens once you've built it? And that
Yeah.
was sort of the question that Jessie and I kept coming back to, of, we're very big on the balance of having your business and having your family. But that balance doesn't exist as well in those first few years. Like, you have to focus on business and growth and getting to a stage where you can enjoy both. And there are a lot of marketers out there, like Jessie said, that talk about where they're at in their business now, working 3 hours a day, but they don't really tell you how they got there. And they don't really tell you how to maintain that. It's like, if you do XYZ, then you can grow, and, make six figures. But it's like, what if I don't want to make six figures? What if I just want to make a little bit and then also be able to take my kids to swim class? Like,
Mhm.
and
And
there's not as much about that out there.
yeah. And I feel like there are different things that have hit me at different times. I remember it was actually a couple, probably at this point, like 3, 4 years ago. Like these things happened years ago where I reached that point in my business where I had hit my initial goals. And then
Mm-hmm.
you talk about the now what?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people out there saying, well, if you hit 5 figures, go for six. If you hit six, go
Yeah.
for seven. If you hit seven, go for eight.
Yeah.
Like they just talk about go, 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 grow, grow, grow. And I realized that once I hit my personal goal, I was like, but I don't want to keep growing.
Yeah.
How do I slow down after pushing so fast for so long?
Yeah.
And is there anybody out there to tell me it's okay
Mm-hmm.
to not want more?
Yeah.
And I actually remember hopping on a phone call with a friend. Um, it was actually another online friend, but we had met each other in person a few times. And so we hopped on the phone and we talked about it because she was at the same point. Like, but I don't want to keep growing. I'm happy where I'm at. And so those are the people we want to talk to. Like it's okay to not want the moon and the sun and the stars and the heavens.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to just want enough so that you can put some of your focus elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, especially as like online service providers, which is where Jessie and I live.
Mhm.
um you get to this point where you grow and you're doing okay, and then you start hearing those messaging of, stop trading your dollars for hours, start using passive income, grow your business with agencies, add courses. And it's kind of like, what if I don't want to do that? Like, what
Mhm.
if I just want to do the thing that I enjoy doing, and I have enough, that I'm happy and I'm taken care of, and I want to have that time with my, like, the whole point of this was for me to be able to spend time with my family. Like, I want to be able to slow down and spend time with my family. And that's kind of who we're talking to. Because there's not a lot of that. Like Jessie said, it's kind of like, if you get 5 figures, go for six. If you get 6 figures, go for seven. And it's like, I mean, don't get me wrong, if someone were to offer me 7 figures tomorrow, I'm not gonna turn it down, but,
Mhm.
like, I don't wanna work 80 hours a week to get 7 figures so that in 5 years when all my kids are too old, I can have
Mhm.
time to spend with my family of teenagers that don't wanna talk to me. Like
Exactly. And I've actually seen that happen to people where they work
Mhm.
so hard and they miss things. And I I've just heard from so many different people about childhood struggles,
Mhm.
and I want to be able to see the signs if my child is struggling. I want
Yeah.
to be there for my kids. And part of that means putting on the brakes on a business I've grown,
Yeah.
because it's sort of like a high, right? Like
Yeah.
you hit a milestone and you're like, "Awesome, let's go for more. Let's go for more.
Yep.
Let's go
Let's
for
go
more."
for more and more
And
and
you get
more.
caught up in the whirlwind and forget, "Wait a minute. I only wanted to hit that first goal so that I could spend more time with my family, and now I'm not doing it."
Yeah. Yeah, and it's funny, we were talking to my oldest last night because she's had to write an essay about college or something because she's in freshman year flipping high school. But we were talking to her about like the point of college and the point of degrees and what you should focus on in college and different things like that. And one of the things we told her was make sure you know what your goal is. If your goal is a lot of money, then you're going to sacrifice in other places. You're going to be spending a
Mhm,
lot of time to get a lot of money. Like a lot of jobs, especially college degree jobs, if you're making a lot of money, you don't really have your schedule to yourself. You're on call or your salary, so you're working odd hours, different things like that. If your goal is to be able to be home with your family, maybe you're not making 6 figures because you don't have 70 hours a week to spend on the job. But the important thing is to know what your priorities are. And for Jessie and I, we kind of realized that at this point in our business, our service businesses, not our podcast, our priority is spending time with our family
mhm,
and balancing that with the business that we've grown that is stable and it's not going to fall apart if we take an afternoon off.
mhm,
And we would like to be able to talk to other moms in that situation and just kind of commiserate of like, yeah, it's really hard to take an afternoon off because then you got to work, you still have to do a day's worth of work the next day. It's tough, but it's not, oh my gosh, I just really need to grow and find new clients and do this and do that and all that. Like less frantic hustling and more have some coffee and sit down and
mm.
enjoy.
And I feel like part of the reason this podcast has even been possible for us is because we're at that point in our businesses.
Yeah, because we have time to do something fun.
Exactly. If we were struggling and trying to grow, 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 and hunt for the next client to put food on the table, we would not be doing this podcast.
No.
This podcast is possible because we've been at a place where I want to do something, but I don't have to do something. What would be
Mhm.
something fun? And truly, this has just been a hobby for us, right? Like
Yeah.
we sit down a couple times a week, we chat, and it's also a really nice social experience for us.
Yes. Yes,
Because
exactly.
obviously, we have a lot more conversations than when we happen to hit record.
Yes.
But,
Yeah.
it just, yeah. We
And
want
I
to be
think
able to service other moms like us and let you know it's okay to not want
yeah.
to keep growing.
Yeah.
It's
And
okay to maintain.
it's okay to still have those frustrations of
Mhm.
I really just needed to get some work done and my kid is sick. Like
Yes.
but yeah, it's not I don't know. it feels weird to say. And I think if I could go back and tell 7, 8 years ago, Angela, that was working 16-hour days on a Chromebook at her kitchen table with a
Mhm.
kid in her lap, that like, no, in a few years you're gonna be, you have your own desk for one,
Mhm. 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 Mhm.
with a real computer, and you're gonna have time to like not have to get up at 5 in the morning to see Jessie. You're gonna be able to, have a podcast that isn't necessarily focused on making all the money. You're going
Mhm.
to be able to take an afternoon off. Like, I'm not sure I would have believed me because it felt so overwhelming then. But now it feels weird not doing those things.
Right. I think that it's been really nice being able to truly hone in and build the businesses
Mhm.
that we want to have.
Yeah.
Or not just that, build the life we want to have. And that's something I've always tried to keep in the back of my mind is what do I want in my life? How do
Mhm.
I want my life to look? Because sometimes I feel like trapped in a 9 to 5, people don't have the luxury of even dreaming that.
Yeah.
But being our own bosses and having our own businesses has afforded us the ability to craft the life we want. And frankly, I feel like even if like there are plenty of 9 to 5s out there that are more flexible now, especially after
Mhm.
the pandemic.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of it's just about deciding what you want in your life and making it happen.
Yeah. And I think we get caught up in this idea of if you're not hustling for the next big milestone, then you're not really working or you don't really have a business. Like,
It's like if I don't sweat, did I really work out?
yes, exactly. Exactly that. If I'm not sweating, did I really work out? Um, and we've been conditioned to kind of almost look down on that maintenance mode of like,
Mhm.
oh, you just gave up then. Like, no, I didn't give up. I just got to where I wanted to be and now I'm going to enjoy it. Like,
Mhm. And the other thing is like if you have younger kids that you want to spend time with, it's okay to say, "You know what? I do want to keep growing, but not now."
mhm.
So
Yeah.
like do that and then once they're older and more independent or even off in college and out of the house, whenever you decide what's right for you, then you can
Yeah.
ramp things up again or try new endeavors. Like
Yeah.
it's kind of like those people that those I will say moms just because traditionally it has been a mom who quits her job when she has kids and then tries to
Mhm.
go back several years later after her kids are grown.
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be 100% easy,
Mhm.
but we're talking about being able to have both where it's like we have a smaller business that we want to maintain that gives us what we need and then we also have the freedom to enjoy our kids while they're young.
Right. And if your idea of a small business is a few $100s a month, awesome. If your idea of a small business is six figures because you can maintain that and still get all the things that you want out of that balance of family and life, awesome. Like,
Mhm.
whatever works for you.
Yeah. So I think that's kind of where Angela and I are at. It's not that we're not talking to moms or moms with
Mhm.
businesses or balance and juggling everything. We are. We're we just want to try and shift our focus a little more towards the people who have established businesses who are looking to maintain and talk about
Mhm.
what life is like at that stage because that's where we are at. And we want you to
Yeah.
know that you're not alone
Yeah.
and there are frustrations and struggles and also really great things that come with being at that point in your business. And again, it's not to say that if you're new, you can't gain some insights and valuable information. You can. And
Yeah.
hey, we're still here for you. You want us
Yeah,
to talk about
absolutely.
something? Write in, contact at
let us know.
marketingmoms.co.
We're happy to do that.
We're happy to do that. We're happy to talk about whatever you need. You need us to put you on the hot seat? Message us and we will put you on the hot
message us. We
seat.
will do
Like,
that.
we will still do the things. However, this is kind of our public declaration that we are going in a new direction that suits us, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, we cannot wait to get started in the new year.
Yeah. So if there is a topic that you want to make sure that we cover or something that you want us to chat about, let us know. Hit us up even on Instagram at Marketing Moms Podcast. We are always around.
Okay.
Partly because our children are waking up in the middle of the night with bloody noses and
yes, and coughs and
not talking from experience at all.
No, not at all.
All right. Well, Happy New Year. Enjoy your family. Enjoy, if you do get some time off, enjoy the rest time. Do something for yourself. Have an extra cup of coffee, and we will see you in
the new year,
2024.
Thank you for joining us today. We're so honored this is where you chose to spend your time.
If this episode helped you in some way, please share it with another mom who needs to hear it. We're in this together.
And if you're ready for next steps, free goodies, and more, head over to marketingmomspodcast.com.
We'll see you next week.